Time having arrived, I call the regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council to order. Will you all join me? Please stand and salute the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk.
Acceptance of the minutes of the October 11th, 2022 City Council meeting.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a petition of Joe McLaughlin of Green Energy, 866 East 5th Street, Unit 3, Boston, Mass., for a license to solicit and canvass. In City Clerk's office, October 4th, 2022. Hearing assigned for October 24th, 2022. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor?
You can step right up.
If so, please come up, give your name and address to the clerk.
Hello, my name is Joseph McLaughlin. What do I have to say? Seeking a permit to solicit.
Name and address to the clerk.
Oh, 866 East 5th Street, South Boston, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say to the councilors? And councilors, any questions?
So I was just seeking to solicit for, it's a Clean Green energy company. We go door to door and enroll customers for renewable energy sourced from wind and solar, and looking to solicit in Brockton.
Anyone else here in favor? Well, I'll hit that at the end. Anyone else here in favor? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilor Azak, you had a question before
Yes.
the question comes on granting.
Yes, I just had a few questions for Mr. McLaughlin. Good evening. So how many people do you plan on having in the Brockton area?
So it would be me and then Sam Webster, who he's also on the list as well for tonight. So just two of us.
Two of
Councilor,
you.
just point of information, licenses are individual, they're not for the
Individual.
company.
Okay.
So this will be just for Mr. McLaughlin.
Perfect. And you'll be wearing something that says the company name on it?
Correct, yes.
Or should I give out to the residents that have a phone number on
Correct.
there? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And this is a question to you, Mr. Clerk. I'm just wondering, what's required for the license? What does a petitioner have to submit to the clerk's office to get in front of us?
The question starts at the police station. The form is at the police station, and they have to be approved by the police before it comes here. Then it comes in front of you, and the backup paperwork is approval by the police department. And then when if approved, when they're out, they have to wear a picture ID. They also have to inform the police department where they're going to be, what neighborhoods, and if anytime they're going to be out after 6 p.m., they have to inform the chief of police office. So it starts at the chief's office. They do have to wear a photo ID, and again, anytime after 6 at night that they're going to be out somewhere, they have to inform the chief of police what streets they will be planned to be on. And they can't be out after 9 p.m.
Understood. And I'm going to assume that part of that police check is some sort of Corey background check.
It's a background check. I don't know if it's a Corey check. I believe it is, but we're not allowed to see the Corey information.
Right.
So that's why they approve it and send it to us. It doesn't come to us until they've approved it.
Understood. And this matter was approved?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Nicastro.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. McLaughlin. Thank you for being here. I have a couple of questions about how you're going to solicit and canvass. What hours do you usually work?
We usually work 12 to 5.
12 to 5, so no evenings.
That's right. It's rare to work evenings.
And what days of the week?
Monday through Friday?
So no weekends.
Correct.
Okay. And the information that you provide, do you typically get people to sign up on the spot, or do you go back to them, leave information for them to read?
It's a little bit of everything. Some people are, willing to enroll on the spot. Some, would prefer an appointment. Some, want to take their time, read everything over, and then we could set, a future appointment to enroll.
Okay. And on average, or based on your experience doing this, so you spend a week in a community, how many people can you expect to get to sign up for this?
On average, like 15 to 20 people a week, on like a good week.
Okay, and that's for each of you or together?
That would be for me. Sam would be, his own people.
Okay, 15 to 20. And are there certain areas that you've identified as ones that you want to solicit in?
I mean, we haven't looked too far into that yet, but we can provide, streets and locations if needed.
You have to provide it to the police.
Okay, well, I didn't know if we had to provide that to you guys too.
I don't think so. I think
No.
just to
No.
the police.
This is the police.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And who do you speak with at the police to provide that information?
We were speaking with the chief and somebody in records to provide that.
Okay, so Officers Perez.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselors, you have something, Counselor Fowler?
Yeah, I just wanted to say to the gentleman and his colleague, we've all had very pleasant experiences with salespeople, and we've all had unpleasant. The only thing I would ask is that if someone says they're not interested, just, please honor that, because people are rightly concerned about the economy now, and I commend you for engaging in this endeavor, but I know it's going to be challenging, but I just would like to make sure a no means no.
Yep, no is definitely no, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor's question comes on granting the license to solicit and canvass. Mr. Clerk, is that a hand vote or?
Hand vote, yeah.
Roll. All right, all in favor? All opposed? License is granted.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations.
You're not done yet. Item number 3, petition of Samuel Webster of Green Energy, 6 Crown Drive, Unit 207, Quincy, Mass., for a license to solicit and canvass. In City Clerk's office, October 4th, 2022. Hearing assigned for October 24th, 2022. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please give your name and address to the clerk.
You can just state your name.
Your name.
Yes, Samuel Webster, 6 Crown Drive, 207, Quincy.
Anything? Okay. Let me get through the in favor and opposition. Councilors, or anyone else here in favor? Seeing none, I close that portion of the hearing. Anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilors, questions before the vote. Councilor Thompson, followed by Councilor Nicastro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, just one quick question to you, Mr. Clerk. This is a one-year license from today's date until the 23rd of October,
Correct. It's
23?
renewable. After a year, they'd have to come back for a new license, correct?
Okay. And what's the cost of this license? What's the fee attached?
I don't recall off the top of my head. Diane, do you remember? $360. $360.
Right.
$150 for legal ad,
I'm sorry, what?
plus $150 for legal ad.
Plus, they had to pay other fees to apply, but $360 for the year is the license.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Nicastro.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Webster. Thank you for
Good
being
evening.
here. You came in as I was asking Mr. McLaughlin some questions. Will your days differ from Monday through Friday?
No, Joe and I work the same schedule.
Okay, so Monday through Friday, 12 noon to 5 p.m.
Yes.
Okay. And in your experience, you will net about 15 or 20 interested people a week?
Yes, about that on average, sometimes a little more, sometimes less, but that's
Oh,
about
so you
average.
do better than him. Good for you. And will you do this through the winter months? Will you solicit this?
Yes, we do, yes.
Okay, so you just keep going through the winter?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor.
Good luck.
Councilor Azak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question I wanted to ask Mr. McLaughlin also, but is this isn't your first year in Brockton, correct? Is this,
So we've gone here a little bit in the past. Our company made it aware to us that we need a permit, so we made sure to reach out to do that before coming back.
okay,
But in the past, we have worked here.
you have been in Brockton, okay. And you've had a good response, everything's
Yes, yeah, very good response.
perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilors, question comes on granting the license to solicit and canvass by hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? License is granted.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Item number 4, report of the Public Safety Committee for its meeting of October 6, 2022.
Accepted and placed on file.
Item 5, report of the Ordinance Committee for its meeting of October 13, 2022.
Accepted and placed on file.
Report of the Finance Committee for its meeting of October 17, 2022.
Accepted and placed on file.
Report of the Ad hoc Committee on Elected Official Compensation in Similar Gateway Cities.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the Chairman of the Board of Assessors. After a review of the current balance of the overlay account, the Board of Assessors voted at the October 4th meeting and declared an overlay surplus of $1,500,000. Fiscal year 2017, $1,073,766.90. Fiscal year 2018, $426,233.10, for a total of $1,500,000. These funds may be used for any lawful purpose before the end of the current fiscal year, 2023. At this time, the Board of Assessors has determined the remaining balance in the overlay account is sufficient to cover potential abatements, exemptions, and uncollectible taxes for fiscal year 2023.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending the City Council authorize the transfer of $1,500,000 from overlay surplus to Law Department court judgments.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Unfinished business. Ordinance, an ordinance creating a revolving fund pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton pursuant to the Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, that the following language be adopted as a City of Brockton ordinance. The opioid settlement revolving fund shall be created to support the following programs set by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts: opioid use disorder treatment, support people in treatment and recovery, connections to care, harm reduction, address the needs of criminal justice-involved persons, support pregnant or parenting women and their families, including babies with neonatal abstinence syndrome, and lastly, prevent misuse of opioids and implement prevention education. Expenditures from the opioid settlement revolving fund shall be made on the authority and direction of the mayor of the City of Brockton, provided not more than $250,000 may be expended from the opioid settlement revolving fund during each fiscal year without the consent of the City Council. In City Council, August 22, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable.
Question is on passage to a third reading by a hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? Item is passed to a third reading.
Item 12, ordinance that the City Council adopt the following amendment to the ordinance relative to the permitting and regulation of food truck operations in the City of Brockton. Under application requirements and procedures, Section 1 shall be stricken in its entirety and replaced with the following language. 1, all mobile food vendors shall provide the Board of Health with a copy of a state-issued hawkers and peddlers license. Under application requirements and procedures, Section 2 shall be stricken in its entirety. Under application requirements and procedures, Section 5A shall be amended to increase the permit annual fee from $100 to $125, and the following language shall be stricken. The application fee shall be $50 to eliminate an application fee. Under application requirements and procedures, Section 5B shall be amended to increase the permit renewal annual fee from $100 to $125, and the following language shall be stricken. The renewal application fee shall be $50 to eliminate a renewal application fee. Under application requirements and procedures, Section 5G shall be amended to increase the fine for a first offense from $100 to $125. In City Council, August 22, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable.
Question is on passage to a third reading by a hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? The item is passed to a third reading.
13, ordinance. An ordinance amending Article 2, Section 28, compensation. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Article 2, Section 28 is hereby amended by striking the provision in its entirety and inserting the following language. The City Councilors shall receive in full, for all services rendered, compensation at the rate of $30,000 per annum, commencing January 1, 2024. In City Council, September 26, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable.
Questions on passage to a third reading as amended by a hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? Passed to a third reading.
14, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $568,038 from Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, State 911 Department, Fiscal Year 23 State 911 Department Support and Incentive Grant Program. 2, the Brockton Police Department, Fiscal Year 23 State 911 Support and Incentive Grant Program Fund. These grant funds will be used to backfill ETD and police dispatcher wages and fund overtime. Funds will also be used to purchase dispatch equipment for the Brockton Police Department. There is no match required for this grant. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Questions on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $298,148.94 from Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, State 911 Department. 2, Fiscal Year 23 State 911 Department Training Grant Program. 2, the Brockton Police Department, Fiscal Year 23 State 911 Department Training Grant Program Fund. These grant funds will be used to reimburse overtime for ETDs, police officers, and fire department emergency medical dispatch personnel, to attend 16 hours of mandatory E911 continuing education training for annual certification, to pay State 911 Department approved certified training vendors to conduct classes at the Brockton Police Department, to purchase training materials and to pay the class fees for officers to conduct online training if necessary. There is no match required for this grant. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Questions on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $125,000 from Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Public Health's Bureau of Substance Addiction Services, Fiscal Year 23, Massachusetts Collaborative for Action, Leadership, and Learning 3, Mass Call 3, Substance Misuse Prevention Grant. 2, the Mayor's Office, Fiscal Year 23, Massachusetts Collaborative for Action, Leadership, and Learning 3, Mass Call 3, Substance Misuse Prevention Grant Fund. These funds will be managed by the Brockton Area Prevention Collaborative, Brockton High Point Treatment Center. This funding will be used to support and continue programs that aid in preventing substance use within youth through educational programming and opportunities. This funding will also be used, This funding will also be used to prevent opioid-specific misuse and addiction through training community entities and business on overdose prevention and the administration of naloxone. The city will not be supplying a grant match. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Questions on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $4,777,416.16 from Federal Emergency Agency FEMA, Fiscal Year 23 Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response SAFER Grant. 2, Brockton Fire Department, Fiscal Year 23 Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response SAFER Grant Fund. These grant funds will be will staff 16 new firefighter positions for the next 3 years through the federal FEMA funds. This is a non-matching grant with no cost to the city. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $112,500 from Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Public Health's Bureau of Substance Addiction Services, fiscal year 23 Prevention and Early Childhood SOR Grant Program, to the Mayor's Office, fiscal year 23 Prevention and Early Childhood SOR Grant Program Fund. These grant funds will be managed by the Brockton Area Prevention Collaborative, Brockton High Point Treatment Center. This funding will be used to support and continue multifaceted prevention services that are directed to the age range of children from prenatal to 5 years that have a parent or caregiver with a history of substance abuse addiction, including those currently in treatment and recovery. The parents and caregivers of these children, preschool and/or school settings, as well as social service and early childhood service providing agencies. The city will not be supplying a grant match. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Mr. President,
Counselor Azak.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of number 19 as it is just related to the elections.
Second.
As it is 3 pages long.
Yes.
Motion's properly made and seconded to waive the reading of number 19. All in favor? All opposed? The reading is waived.
19, ordered in compliance with the provisions of the election laws, notice is hereby given that the state election will be held on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, in the attached designated polling places for the attached offices and with the 4 ballot questions. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $14,500 from Executive Office for Administration and Finance, fiscal year 23 Best Practices Compact Program Grant, to Human Resources Department, fiscal year 23 Best Practices Compact Program Grant Fund. These grant funds will be used by the Human Resources Department for the costs associated with holding a supervisory training program for city employees. This is a non-matching grant with no cost to the city. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question comes on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Thank you. Item 21, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $33,000 from the Executive Office for Administration and Finance, fiscal year 23 Best Practices Compact Program Grant, to the Human Resources Department, fiscal year 23 Best Practices Compact Program Grant Fund. These funds will be used by the Human Resources Department for the costs associated with customer service training program for city employees. This is a non-matching grant with no cost to the city. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question comes on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
22, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $441,149.57 from Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Public Assistance Program Grant. 2, Department of Public Works, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA Public Assistance, PA Program Grant Fund. The FEMA Public Assistance PA Program reimburses approved applicants for the federal share of eligible costs incurred during the severe winter storm and snowstorm that occurred from January 28th and 29th in 2022. In City Council, October 11th, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question comes on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
8 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
23, resolve to have Cynthia Pendergast of NeighborWorks Housing Solutions or her designee appear before the Standing Committee on Finance of the Brockton City Council. Ms. Pendergast will give a brief overview of the services currently offered to the residents of Brockton by NeighborWorks Housing Solutions and introduce a new down payment assistance opportunity specifically for first-time home buyers who are residents of Brockton. In City Council, September 26, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question comes on adoption by a hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? Order is adopted.
Ordinance, an ordinance amending Article 3, Section 2-146, compensation, school committee members elected by ward. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Article 3, Section 2-146 is hereby amended by striking the words $5,000 and inserting in its place $15,000. The language, "The amendment shall be effective January 1, 2018, shall be amended to reflect a new effective date of January 1, 2024.
Referred to ordinance.
Ordered that the following named sum be, and the same is hereby transferred, as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $1,500,000 from overlay surplus to law department court judgments.
Referred to finance.
Resolve. Whereas the Brockton City Council granted licenses to individuals and corporations for the retail sale of marijuana, and whereas the licenses were issued pursuant to business plans and official representations made to the council when applicants appeared to participate in the licensing process, and whereas the city has an economic interest in ensuring that licenses are open and have actively engaged retail sales. Now, therefore, be it resolved, 1, that the city clerk shall provide a list of all retail marijuana licenses approved by the council with a notation as to which licenses are open and actively engaged in retail sales. 2, the city's chief legal officer, solicitor, and legislative counsel to the city council be invited to appear at a finance committee meeting to discuss legal options available to the city council relating to those licensees who have failed to open and are simply holding a license.
Is there an input? Oh, no. That's referred to finance.
Second resolve, be it resolved that Mary Walden of the Downtown Brockton Business Association and Amanda Glennon, chairwoman of the Brockton Holiday Celebration and Parade, or their designees, be invited to come before the Finance Committee to discuss the Brockton Holiday Celebration and Parade to be held on Saturday, November 26, 2022.
Referred to finance.
That's all I have.
Councilors, that is the end of our agenda. Do we have any late files? No late files. Any moments of councilors' recognition? Councilor Azak.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to announce that DW Fields Park Association, in collaboration with Brockton Parks Department, are having a movie night this Saturday, October 29th at 6 p.m. at DW Fields Park. So bring your lawn chairs or your blankets and come enjoy a feature under the stars. And this Saturday's movie is E.T. Thank you.
Counselor. Seeing nobody else, I will just say something of my own. We will be having, myself working with the fire department and the police department. We'll have a a trick-or-treating event on Sunday, October 30th from 3 to 5 p.m. at Station 7 on Cary Hill. The kids can come by and get a little bit of candy and see a fire truck and a police car. Hopefully inspire them to a great career of public service. Seeing nobody else, we are adjourned.